I'm just going to show you that I'm cleaning some of their cages for the babies, but being super cute, so I just thought I could show you. So we've got a little piri chicken, piri chicken. This is Akatosh, yes. Hester, who has a mite problem going on right now, scruffy looking boy. We've got not Period again, and Foreman there at the back. There's somebody, oh, Cade. Oh, cute boys. Cute boys, yay. Cuties. Scruffy looking Hester with his itchy skin. But boys, right, so in the bathroom I have soaking an Alaska cage that I got for the babies, mainly because of Hester's issues, and we're not quite sure when we'll be able to do intros with them. We were going to do them straight away, but having an Alaska on hand is fine, is a good idea in case anyone needs to be split off, or as a stage in intros. Also the carrier that they're going to come home in, I'm washing that too. I will also be washing the other small hamster cages that I have for the intros, and also because I'm also taking 2 kittens, 2 does on Saturday as well for a friend, and then passing them to her on Sunday. So I'll be taking 4 rats home with me, and then 2 of them will be mine and 2 of them are a friend's. So that's really cool. We're gonna be able to meet some girls, handle some girls for a bit because I am not used to girls, but that's going to be really fun. So yeah, that's right now. The next clip will probably be showing me set up their cage, because I'm going to be setting up this Alaska for them for the next couple of days, until Hester is ready to be introed, because I don't want Hester's mites to get worse and everything. So then they'll go into intros after that, and intros will probably be its own video, but yeah, so see you in the next clip. So I am going to show you the cage that I set up for the babies, and yeah, very exciting. Okay, so this is an Alaska cage. This is commonly used when with litters after they're sort of open their eyes and things, and commonly used as well as a cage for homing age kittens before they're able to be introed into other groups. So I obviously have my choice of substrate, which is Finicard. There's not as much as I'd usually like to put in, but because they're not going to be in here very long, and I want to be able to fill the base of my double cage when they get introed, there's not a lot. I'd like to fill it to the top, but that's fine. So I have this cargo net. This cargo net is from Rat Rations, as is this rope, which goes over there. This millet spray is actually from a toy subscription box from a rat's tail that I just didn't use up all of the millet. I thought the babies would like this. This cute little corner hammock, which is a leaf shaped, and it's got little bears on them. That's from Fairy Kind Creations. I have this branch, which was from Scarlett's Pirate Essentials, but I do not recommend them. They have awful customer service and really kind of dodgy things that they've been doing and saying online. But this is a really great branch, and you can get these from other places. And a Spudnik as well. And then I've got 2 chew toys. This one here, which is from a rat's tail, and this one, which is from Home for Rats hammocks, which I won in a giveaway. So that is the cage that the babies will have. And then I've also set up this smaller hamster cage for the baby girls who will have for a night. So obviously they don't need as much, and I will probably put in a chew toy as well for them, and also set up the carrier for them that has just been out of the bath for a soak. Hello, good morning. I'm not even sure you can hear me. As you can tell, it's very windy. So I am waiting for my lift to the show, which is very exciting. I have the carrier for the new boys, and I have the carrier for the girls that we're looking after just for the night. And I'm super excited. I also really love just going to rat shows. It's one of my favorite things to do, and so yeah, I'm just looking forward to the whole day getting the rats. I'm also being the photographer for the event today, which is really cool, and doing a few other little jobs to help the show run. And I always like to feel useful, which is why I always volunteer my time to help. I'm just waiting for the lift and then we'll be off. We're also, I'm not sure if I mentioned in this video, but my mother-in-law had 2 guinea pigs and one of them passed away about a month ago, and we're also rehoming the other one to somebody who goes to rat shows often, somebody I know, because guinea pigs should also, like rats, live in groups. So we're also doing that today, which is sad they're here and I'm vlogging, so I'm gonna go. See you later. This is the next day, the 5th. This is, I'm not going to tell you his name because I have to properly introduce them to you. So as you could see and as you heard from the other clips in this video, I collected my new baby rats from the MRC show in Wiedenbeck yesterday. They are from Rainmaker Rattery, which is an absolutely wonderful ethical breeder in the Midlands. If you're looking for an ethical breeder in the UK, I suggest looking on the NFRS breeders list and going from there. I also do have a video up in the cards, which is just letting you know how to notice an unethical breeder if you need help on that. And they're both having a drink. I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but yeah. And they are 12 weeks old right now. Homing age can be anywhere from 7 to 8 weeks, depending on when the breeder is ready to pick their keepers. So Haley was spending a little bit longer picking keepers, so that meant that they went home a little bit later, which worked out really well for me because of all the issues with neuters and re-enters and everything I was having with my main group. So it worked out timing wise really well. So having them at the show was wonderful. I had them in my little Very Kind Creations bonding bag, and yeah, it was just wonderful. They're having a little fight down there. I don't know whether you can tell. Look. This is play fighting from babies. They can squeal and they can make noise, but as long as they're not showing any signs of aggression and they're like popcorning and running back and forth to each other, then it's normal. They will grow out of that in a couple of weeks, usually anyway, so don't worry about that noise. So it was just lovely to have them with me throughout the show, and everyone was just saying how cute they were, and they were giving me licks, and it was just a really wonderful day. And now I'm going to introduce them to you. So this guy might look familiar to you. This guy might look familiar to you because he looks a lot like Akatosh, who is his uncle on both sides. He is a Burmese, like Akatosh. He's a bit more of a wriggler, a bit more nervous, and his name is Alduin. This comes from Elder Scrolls, just like Akatosh's name. Elder Scrolls is a game, if anyone is wondering, and Akatosh and Alduin are sort of like the beginning and the end when it comes to like the gods and things in that game series, and so that's why his name is picked as Alduin. And this little guy, his name is Bentham. He is a Russian Burmese, and he is super pretty, and he has already got his deep little grappling hook claws into my heart. He is called Bentham, which is after a philosopher and the ideological founder of my undergrad university, which I had my graduation anyway from my undergrad university the week after these guys were born, so it worked out really well like that. He reminds me so much of one of Haley's rat, who is a Russian Wheaton, that I fell in love with, but also he's just so much better than that little guy. I love him so much already, and he's just so pretty. And in the future, when I do start breeding, I do want to breed shaded, and I want to breed Russian shaded, and it's just so wonderful to have them. And Bentham is just a special guy. He's a lot more outgoing. He wants to go back into the cage, that's why. He's a lot more outgoing than, he's a bit sneezy as well, which is also normal to have babies who have new home sneezes because of the change in environment. If they don't subside in a couple of weeks, then it's a good idea to take them to the vet, but it's nothing to worry about at first, especially if there's no other symptoms going on. If it's just sneezes, there's no excess porphyrin, they're not lethargic, they're eating well and everything and growing well, it's not such much of a problem. But this little guy is quite sneezy today. And he is just... Let me see if I can get him to face this way. Just so pretty, and I love him so much. Do you want to go back? Alright. So that is my two new baby boys. I think in this video I'm also going to film intros as well, so you can see how I introduce new baby rats and how it is recommended that you introduce new baby rats to your existing group. This here is a Hester. He is what I think is the alpha of our group. He currently has a mite flare-up going on, so we are waiting a little bit to see if he can get that cleared up before we do intros. So it might not be for a couple of days, maybe a week. Hopefully we don't have to wait that long and he clears up well. But I will also update you with the little guys and add in more clips. I have added in the clips from the show, but there will be more clips to add in. And I just wanted to introduce them to you and talk a little bit about their varieties and where they come from and all of that stuff. And I'm super excited to have them. There's also a really special thing about getting them yesterday. So back when we got our first breeder boys, Akatosh and Coram, if you've watched the video on my channel, you'll know that they came with a brother, and his name was Rosen, and he died at 8 weeks old. We had him for just over a week. We started intros, and that's when he became very ill very quickly, and we had to put him to sleep at just over 8 weeks old, and it was very sad. Obviously, I still wonder what he would have been like, and if he would have been like Coram, or if he would have been like Akatosh, or if he would have been entirely different as well. And he died on the 4th of June, and completely by chance. I didn't know the exact date off the top of my head when Rosen died, and we only planned to do the pickup of these boys at the show because it was easier, because we were both going to be there anyway, and that way also they would get a health check, because MRC policy says that any animals changing hands need to be health checked by either a vet or an experienced judge. And because of that, because it was just easier to collect them at the show, it ended up being June 4th, which to me feels like a little present from Rosen, who is their uncle. So it just feels like a gift that he is giving his nephews to us on the day that he left us. Yeah, so hopefully there'll be more cute videos and updates on the intro process, but those are my two new baby rats, and I already love them so much, and I hope you do too. So the way that I recommend people introduce rats is with the carrier method, and that's how I introduce my rats. The carrier method is based on this principle that if you give rats a smaller space to start off with when meeting new rats, they are less likely to fight and less likely to injure each other in any disagreements or dominance behaviours that may occur. This means that this smaller space will allow them to get to know each other, assess relationships, and build hierarchies without the space that causes them to get stressed out and run away during a fight. And a lot of injuries are caused when they run away from the fight, so having them in a smaller enclosed space is very good, as it stops them from getting injured if fights do occur. However, having them in a smaller space does reduce the amount of fights that occur, because rats don't like to fight in a small space. With the carrier method, you should be starting in a cage that is small enough to give everyone a small amount of personal space, but not mounds. They say it should be base-wise enough for everyone to lay down alone, but they should be touching. There shouldn't be much space around that. This is to encourage them to sleep in piles, which is a positive social behavior. And every time you move up a stage, every time they're showing positive social behaviors whilst awake and also sleeping in mixed piles, that's when you would move up into a slightly larger space and increase the space and increase the space. For different rats and for different groups, this will take a different amount of time. Some rats will go through the carrier method in a day. Some rats will go through the carrier method in a couple of days, and some may require a week. If your carrier method intros are taking more than a week, or more than even just a couple of weeks, there might be something other going on to consider. Maybe one of the rats is suffering from hormonal aggression, maybe one of them isn't doing well with a certain other rat, or maybe the group size just isn't right for this particular group. When you are doing the carrier method, once they are in the same cage together, you should not be removing them and separating them, unless that is for very short periods of time for health checks, or if with young rats you want them to be able to get their energies out so it's not annoying some of the older rats. That is also a good idea to let them out, but this will depend on the group and the specific rats in that group. Some groups don't do very well at all with having separations in the carrier method. And also, you should never be free roaming the whole group together until after they're in their main cage and settled, because free roam is an awful lot of space and interesting territory for them to fight over, and you obviously don't want them to be fighting. Another important point when it comes to introducing babies is that you do not want to be introducing babies when they are too small or too immature. This estimated sort of age that is acceptable to begin introing new rats is between 8 and 10 weeks old. and between 160 grams to 200 grams, 200 grams being more towards the male rat. However, if your rat is 200 grams and other rats you're introducing them to are 800 grams, that difference of weight might not necessarily be the best idea, and you maybe should intro a little bit later on when that rat has time to grow a little bit and become more mature. Immature rats or younger rats, maybe on the younger age of the homing out age, will also be more tricky to introduce because they are more energetic and more annoying to older rats, and also are obviously smaller and more immature, meaning that they don't quite understand the social cues that a slightly older rat would. When it comes to my own intros, I have seen a few interesting behaviours that I'd like to tell you about that you might see in your intros that aren't necessarily bad things, worrying things, or things to stop intros for. You may see your rats boggling due to stress, and this is okay. Meeting new people, meeting new rats is stressful. It usually will only occur in the first couple of hours and things will settle down, and that did happen with us. You may also see behaviour that looks quite aggressive, but if this is just simple pinning with no other aggressive behaviours like sidestepping or puffed up fur, which is called piloerection, then it's nothing to worry about. These dominance behaviours are also very, very important for rats so that they can actually address the hierarchy and show other rats where their position is. Sometimes baby rats can overreact to this, which is why you should be aiming for them to be a little bit more mature before you intro them and a little bit more confident before you intro them, so this dramatic nature that babies have doesn't offend or annoy the adult rats who are trying to show them where their position is. All in all, my intros went very well until something happened, which I will tell you about in the next clip. Hello, so as you can tell, intros are still in progress. The 6 boys are in here, and then we do have 2 boys in another cage because Coram hurt his foot. So we are swapping out the boy who is in with Coram just to make intros as easy as possible. However, we've had to separate them because the babies were just being way too much for him to handle with his injury and running all over him, and like he was not doing very well. And since we separated him, he's been doing a lot better and his foot's been doing a lot better. But since he's in the hospital cage, I'm going to stop this video here. I'm not going to document any more of the intro process in this video. However, I'll likely be making a video about putting them into this upgraded cage, and I will likely be explaining sort of the process of how we got to this cage and the end of the intro process. As you will have heard in the last part of this video, the intros have gone pretty smoothly aside from Coram's injury, so I'm very happy and hopeful that we'll easily be able to get back on track after Coram feels better. But that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope there is enough footage of the cute rats in it, and I hope it gave you a little bit of an insight into getting baby rats from a reputable breeder and how to intro them to your current group. Pullman is saying hi right here. And he's finished saying hi now. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you love the new boys as much as me. Aldwin and Bentham have already, in just one short week, become so much a part of our family that it's just so special and great. And yeah, I can't wait to show you more of what we get up to together. Yeah, see you later.